She thought she could humiliate him, but she didn't know the janitor had a history that would shatter her entitled world. What he did next left her speechless. Evelyn Grant had everything society deemed valuable: beauty, wealth, and power. Growing up in an affluent neighborhood in Westchester, New York, her parents had shielded her from the harsh realities of life. Her father, a prominent lawyer, and her mother, a socialite, ensured that Evelyn never had to lift a finger. Her life was one of indulgence. As a child, her whims were indulged with ponies, designer clothes, and private tutors. But as she grew older, she developed an air of superiority, believing she was destined for greatness simply by existing. Her friends, carefully curated from equally privileged circles, reinforced her inflated self-worth. Now at 29, Evelyn was on the cusp of what she thought was her biggest achievement yet: a promotion to vice president of marketing at a prestigious New York firm. But Evelyn's drive wasn't fueled by passion for her work. It was fueled by her insatiable need to prove she was better than everyone else. To Evelyn, Marcus was just a janitor. But to those who took the time to know him, Marcus Jefferson was a man of resilience and quiet strength. In Atlanta, Marcus had once been the embodiment of the American dream. Starting with nothing but a toolbox and determination, he had built Jefferson Construction from the ground up. His company wasn't just a business, it was a pillar of the community. He offered jobs to people who needed second chances: ex-convicts, single parents, and young people without experience. But when the recession hit, everything fell apart. Contracts dried up, debts piled up, and Marcus was forced to close his business. With no safety net, he lost his home, his savings, and eventually his wife, who couldn't handle the strain. Now, in New York City, Marcus worked as a janitor to make ends meet. He lived in a modest apartment in the Bronx and sent whatever he could to his daughter, who was studying nursing in Atlanta. Despite everything, Marcus carried himself with dignity. He believed that life's trials shaped a person's character, and he refused to let bitterness define him. Evelyn's first clash with Marcus came on a rainy Monday morning. Drenched and running late, she stormed into the office lobby, only to find Marcus scrubbing the floor. "Are you serious right now?" she snapped, her voice echoing through the marble atrium. Marcus glanced up calmly. "Morning, ma'am. I'll be out of your way in just a second." "Just a second isn't good enough," Evelyn hissed. "Do you realize people like me have actual jobs to get to? You're slowing everyone down." Several employees paused to watch the exchange, their expressions a mix of discomfort and disbelief. Marcus nodded, stepped aside, and resumed his work without another word. But Evelyn wasn't done. She muttered loudly as she passed, "Maybe if people like him worked harder, they wouldn't be stuck cleaning floors." The comment stung, but Marcus let it roll off his back. He had heard worse. What Evelyn didn't realize was that her behavior was making an impression, not just on Marcus, but on everyone who witnessed it. Evelyn's behavior toward Marcus wasn't an isolated incident. Over the following weeks, she seemed to go out of her way to make his job more difficult. One morning, she accidentally spilled her Starbucks coffee near his cleaning supplies. "Oops," she said with a smirk. "Guess you have something to do now." Another time, she left a pile of trash in the middle of her office floor with a sticky note that read, "Clean this up ASAP." Despite her antics, Marcus remained professional. "Yes, ma'am," he would say, his voice steady and polite. He refused to give her the satisfaction of reacting. But Evelyn's cruelty wasn't just about Marcus. She had her sights set on Diana Reeves, her main rival for the promotion. Diana was everything Evelyn wasn't: kind, empathetic, and respected by everyone in the office. Evelyn saw her as a threat and was determined to sabotage her at any cost. The opportunity to humiliate both Marcus and Diana came during a major client meeting. Evelyn orchestrated a spill near the entrance to the conference room, knowing Marcus would be called to clean it up. As Marcus mopped the floor, Evelyn turned to the clients with a condescending laugh. "Imagine this," she said. "You're here to discuss multi-million-dollar campaigns, and this is the view you get." The clients exchanged uneasy glances, clearly uncomfortable with her tone. Diana, sitting across the table, couldn't stay silent. "Evelyn, that was unnecessary," she said firmly. Evelyn scoffed. "Oh, please. I'm just being honest. He's here to do a job, and I'm doing mine." Marcus straightened, his eyes meeting Evelyn's. "Ma'am, I'm just doing what's asked of me. I hope you can say the same." His words hung in the air, and for the first time, Evelyn felt a flicker of unease. Unbeknownst to Evelyn, one of the junior employees had recorded the entire exchange. By the end of the day, the video was circulating through the office. The backlash was swift. HR summoned Evelyn for a formal reprimand, and her reputation took a significant hit. But instead of reflecting on her behavior, Evelyn doubled down. "It's ridiculous," she fumed to Diana over lunch. "People are so sensitive these days. I was just telling the truth." Diana shook her head. "No, Evelyn. You were being cruel, and it's going to catch up with you." A week later, the CEO called a company-wide meeting to announce the promotion. Evelyn walked into the conference room with her head held high, certain the position was hers. Instead, the CEO announced Diana Reeves as the new vice president of marketing. The room erupted in applause, but Evelyn sat frozen, her face pale with shock. After the meeting, she stormed into the CEO's office. "I deserve that promotion," she shouted. "You're letting a janitor ruin my career." The CEO's response was cold and cutting. "No, Ms. Grant, you ruined your career. Marcus Jefferson has shown more professionalism and integrity than you ever have. If you can't treat people with respect, you don't belong here." Evelyn's fall from grace was swift. Within days, her behavior toward Marcus and Diana was the talk of the office. Clients requested to work with Diana exclusively, and Evelyn found herself isolated. Meanwhile, Marcus was thriving. The CEO had promoted him to facilities manager, a role that came with better pay, benefits, and the opportunity to mentor others. One evening, as Marcus was leaving the office, he saw Evelyn sitting on a bench outside, staring at her phone. For a moment, he considered walking past, but then he remembered his own struggles and approached her. "Ms. Grant," he said, his voice gentle but firm. "Life has a way of humbling us. Maybe this is your chance to grow." Evelyn didn't respond. She looked away, tears brimming in her eyes. Months later, Evelyn was no longer working at the firm. Her reputation as a bully had followed her, and job offers were scarce. She spent her days reflecting on her choices, haunted by the knowledge that her actions had cost her everything. Marcus, on the other hand, had used his promotion to start a scholarship fund for underprivileged students. At the first charity gala he hosted, Diana gave a heartfelt speech about how Marcus's resilience had inspired her. As Evelyn scrolled through social media that evening, she saw photos from the gala. For the first time, she felt the full weight of her actions. Marcus had risen above her cruelty, proving that kindness and integrity were far more powerful than arrogance and entitlement. Treat others with respect, because life has a way of teaching us that how we treat others ultimately defines who we are.